This one is a little bit slower, but kills just as much. It's just so crazy thinking that a single pistol is dealing this much damage. Yeah. Vasto Incarnon. The Vasto is such an old weapon, it's kind of crazy. What we're getting with this weapons in Incarnon is gonna look like a burst pistol, but I would say this looks more like a burst shotgun due to the spread of the bullets. And it's a bit tricky, but extremely powerful. Start with the perks. Vasto Incarnon Perks. Yeah, Incarnon form. Here, this is a big choice actually. This one, incredibly strong. This requires setup. Pretty much everything that requires setup is gonna be much stronger than something that doesn't require setup. There are exceptions, of course, in the game, but this is not one. This is gonna make things pretty crazy. And is it base? Sounds like it's base, so things. It's just, this is perfect for something like a disruption. Prime with your main weapon, switch to your secondary, blast the enemy. Another one, lone gun. Increases damage, no primary equipped, damage increased by 40, and magazine capacity by 14. There's not even a comparison. This is just so much stronger than this one. There's no ways. Like 40 base damage. Like, yeah. It's just no way. The only thing I'm not gonna keep, I'm keeping this one, but I'm not gonna keep it now because it's gonna make it a little bit confused to look at the other perks and just keep thinking, keep having these numbers here because they're not real, they're conditional. Next one. Magazine, reload and holster, magazine capacity, reload. I decided to go with recoil. I decided to go with recoil. If this, I think the only good way is if this works for the Incarnon. If it works for the Incarnon, then is pretty good. If not, I would get this one. I'm gonna have to look that up. I have no idea. I just literally got the weapon. You got the Incarnon perks not long ago, so if this works for the Incarnon mode, perfect. If it doesn't, I would go with this. Last one. Critical chance and status, ammo efficiency on headshot. I would have to test this one with the Incarnon mode to see if it works. Because if it does work, then this might be like the best one to keep it for a longer period. This one, the question is, do you really want to get status with this weapon? Want to proc status? I mean, you can get slash with the normal mode, and with the Incarnon you can also get slash, but the status chance for the Incarnon mode is just so low. You're probably not gonna get a proc with this, unless there is like a forced proc or something like that I haven't seen yet. Critical chance, the highest one. 40% is pretty wild. 48% is even better. Yeah, that's my choice. Going back to this one now. It's gonna be 70%. It's just so stupid. Now that we're done with the perks, let's make a build. Alright. These stats are, I think these stats are the ones just like on the Incarnon tree that we were seeing, these are the ones affected by Death Trap Trigger, which is when we holster from primary to secondary, which increases CC and CD. So kind of hard to really say. Arcane. I usually like to go Deadhead. Depending on what you're gonna make for your elemental, if you're gonna use something, can be a bit tricky to trigger. But yeah. Always a bunch of options. I just like to go with Deadhead, so I'll keep with it. Galvanize it. Shot. Diffusion. Ideally, you want to get headshots. Should you use galvanized crosshairs? No. If you're not making a only non-Incarnon build, you shouldn't use any aim mod on this weapon because you cannot aim with the Incarnon mode. So you're not going to get the bonus. So, yeah. You just cannot aim. So, not even... It's a wasted slot if you put any of those in. Of the ones you have to aim. Galvanized crosshairs, hydraulic crosshairs, inhibit catalyzer, sharpened bullets. Yep, waste of a slot. Don't do that. Now, let's see. A Bane would be good. Other than that, critical. Always welcome. Since the weapon has already a pretty good amount. 210 with all the buffs. Now that it gets tricky to decide which stuff should you put in, you can go Lethal Torrent. You can make viral. You can make corrosive. You can even try to go slash, of course, with the last perk that I took, there was the critical chance only and not the status chance. It's not gonna be anything too crazy, especially with this status from this is really not great. You can get slash procs, you're gonna kill stuff, but it's really not that consistent. The status chance is just too low. Even with that, I'm gonna show you the builds later of how it goes. Actually, I can do that now. I tried making a build for slash. Had Carnage Mandible, had Lethal Torrent, and yeah. Again, the last slot is really tricky to pick, and that is because you have a bunch of options, and so it's hard to choose. I like to go with Seeker. I like to have punch through on this weapon. This can be one of the really, really good hull or corridor clears, as I usually say. So the difference between that perk, the status chance, and status chance critical versus the crit only is what you're seeing right now. 15.5% would be 19.4% with that perk. If I have, instead of this, mods for corrosive, Jolt, Pistol Pestilence would put me to 19.5, would be against the 24.4. That's the difference that perk makes on the Incarnon version. For the normal version, I didn't even checked. As for the crit chance, it goes from 210, which is now it goes to 189%. With this one, we have guaranteed orange crits with 10% chance of red crits, which is pretty okay. Or even, yeah, I don't even. It's just so crazy when you get Death Trap Trigger that is even hard to say what's going on. So, yeah. Let's see. What can we do? I've got corrosive here. I'm gonna make viral, since I already have these others there. Just to match the polarity. Actually, this one. Yeah. Okay, this should deal some damage. We at the start is probably not gonna do much. We even get eventually some slash proc. Just look at the spread. Look at that. It just looks like a shotgun because Jesus Christ, the spread. But the damage is there. As you build up the stacks for galvanized, it just shows up. Even that head is going. I have Seeker, right? Yeah. We're killing. We're killing. Even the slash procs are there. Nice. What if we trigger? That trigger? Yeah, that's crazy. It's 3 seconds, but really, if you're like on a disruption, that's all you need. So, yeah. Yep. Really, it's like this was made for disruption. It's just so crazy. It was made to deal with priority targets. It's just really, really crazy. There's no way this is not killing some very high level stuff. Incarnon magazine is really not that big. Another thing that I felt was, depending on what you're using, we're not gonna use the buffs, the mods that have buffs, but if you were, you would feel all of that changing between Incarnon and non-Incarnon a lot, because you're gonna be spending a lot of time in those animations just to trigger and to get out of that. Having Deadhead on this one is not as good, because Slash and Deadhead usually, like, Slash loves Deadhead, but Deadhead does not love Slash. That's the best way to put it. But even without the Incarnon, is serious damage. With Incarnon, we can get Slash. Yeah. If we were pretty close, I think nothing would survive. Again, I just like Seeker, but you could use something else to increase more the damage. It's up to you. Even as low as the status chance that we have, we're still getting blocks. So I think it's pretty decent. I've also tested the headshot and ammo efficiency perk. It does not work with the Incarnon, so yeah. This one is a little bit slower, but kills just as much. It's just so crazy thinking that a single pistol is dealing this much damage. Yeah. Again, I think this is like, it's made to be a like something for disruption. It's just so crazy. If you prime something, you just shoot it. It's probably the priming was so strong that it didn't even give me the time. Oh my god. Yeah. I don't have any doubt in my mind this would be able to deal with any level caps. Being like many factions, being Corpus, Vermeer infested. It's just so much damage. It is really a very, very powerful Incarnon. Of course, single target. Especially single target, but if you add the Seeker mod, gives it that potential for the corridor or hallway clear, as I usually say. So keep that in mind. I really just don't know what else to put here. Like really, if you're not gonna kill, not planning to kill a whole row of enemies, then you don't need Seeker. But I feel like it's just so much damage that usually you're gonna waste a lot of bullets with only one enemy. And now as it dies, you have the chance of the bullets not actually hitting the targets behind it, because it's a body and all that stuff. So yeah, that's how it goes. Could use Hornet Strike, you know, to increase the damage even more. But yeah, other than that, it's kind of hard to say. One thing that is sad, it's just really for me, is that I've had a Riven for this weapon for the longest time. I just took apart all my builds, cause I had them all. They were before galvanized mods, before arcanes for primary and secondary. And so I had like a beautiful Riven with critical damage and multi-shot. But yeah, it wasn't really doing that much back in the day, because on higher levels it wasn't really doing that much. That's how it goes. And then I ended up throwing away. Feel like that would be really crazy, and potentially your biggest choice between the last two perks, the one that has status and the one that has only critical, is gonna be a Riven. Because if you get a Riven with critical chance, who knows, critical chance, critical damage, status chance might be the golden Riven, then it might make a huge difference. Just considering that you're getting like a lot more status. Maybe you're getting like a lot more slash procs, and then you can make a slash build viable. That's what I think. Or any other element that you want to put in. You could even try to use something else here. Could use something like electricity. Of course, this is really just a low, such a low status chance. Now that I've changed it back, should have tried something like this before, but now it's a. I've already went a couple times to do chrysalid, so yeah. A good part of using electricity would be that getting the trigger deadhead is not that hard. But if we get some powerful slash procs, it should deal a pretty good amount of damage amongst the enemies. Yeah. But now what's slash and what's electricity? That's hard to say. It's probably a lot more slash. But you get the idea. Yeah. A little bit more status chance. I think this could be much more crazy, but it's still already super stupid. It's a crazy powerhouse the way it is. So yeah, I like it. Just like it. Yeah. But definitely is not something that I'm gonna be using very often. Yeah. Let me know what you think about the Vasto Incarnon. Leave it a like. Consider subscribing. Peace.